Hello and welcome to another video from me, Rough Swordsman, Wargamer. It's another Open the Bag and it's Bougainville, The Forgotten Campaign, published by Lock and Load Publishing in conjunction with War Diary. And this is part of the Battle on Demand series. And I must thank Lock and Load Publishing for sending me this for you to have a look at. So, what's all this about? Bougainville, The Forgotten Campaign. The invasion of Bougainville was part of Operation Cartwheel. The objective of this Allied operation was to neutralise the major Japanese base at Rabaul. Rabaul was already within Allied heavy bombing range, but a closer airfield was needed for the shorter range bombers and fighter escorts. With this objective in mind, the entire island of Bougainville would not have to be completely occupied. The mission was to establish forward airfields for strikes on Rabaul. The second phase, conducted by Australian troops, took a more aggressive approach with the aim of mopping up the pockets of starving and isolated Japanese forces. Bougainville, The Forgotten Campaign is a two-player game. One player controls the Allied forces, the US and Australian, and the other player controls the Japanese army and land-based naval forces. So, game credits: producer David Heath, associate producer Roy Matheson, game design Michael Taylor, game development John Heim, counter art Michael Taylor, and the map art by Michael Taylor. Contents include one map, 2 player aid cards, 2 scenarios, 1 manual, and 1 counter sheet. Complexity is 5 out of 10, and solitaire playability is also 5 out of 10, because I believe there's some fog of war, some hidden counters. Players 1 to 2, time 1 to 2 hours. So, let's get it out the bag. So the first thing out of the bag are the rules, and these are 25 pages long. The rest is scenarios and bits and pieces, which we'll see in a moment. So, contents. Unit ID chart. Introduction. And the community and support that Lock and Load give to their customers. Game components. Basic concepts. Typical looking Lock and Load rulebook. Nice large font. Sequence of play. Stacking zone of control. Movement. So we've got trails and roads, barges, rivers, effects of terrain. The map features ground combat, combat results, fatigue and step loss, fatigue effects, armour and support, including artillery and air support and direct support, and interdiction, supply, fortifications, both the Japanese and the US, amphibious landings, reinforcements, and special rules. Yes, this uses hidden and dummy units, and for a solo player that can cause some head scratching. And as I'm mainly a solo player, and if any of you players out there watching have any suggestions on how we can get round that, let me know. I have a couple of ideas, but it'd be great to hear what your thoughts are. Artillery bombardment. Victory conditions. and some optional rules with a victory point table there. Next, scenarios. Credits. And yet here they are. Here's scenario 1. Cherry Blossom. 12 turns. Showing you all the forces used when they come in. This is for the Japanese player. Cherry Blossom. Scenario 2. Enter the Australians. So both orders of battle there. There we go. Them's the rules. Next, a couple of player aids or player charts, one for each player. So we've got the combat result table here and the terrain effects table. Combat results, amphibious assault, combat result table modifications, amphibious flanking attack, and the Japanese supply table down the bottom there. One sheet of counters, 100 in total, typical lock and load publishing quality, pre-rounded, just punch them out and off you go. Nice thick counters. So here the Japanese. Step loss, fatigued. Allies here. So a couple of dummy counters there. And yes, these are the hidden counters, which is why I need your suggestions so I can play it solo. There we go. Here's the map showing the island. Nice small footprint. Over here you can see, I think, is the supply track. And here, of course, the turn track. So let's have a close-up. So at the top of the map we can see eliminated units and the victory points. Japanese barge movement used, and Bougainville Road not built. When it is, the counter goes there, I believe. And down at the bottom end of the island, we have over here Green Island status, Allied amphibious flanking attack, 93rd Division, which looks like it's turning up in turn 4 to 6, air support, and the turn track. That's the map. So this has been an unbagging of Bougainville, the Forgotten Campaign, published by Lock and Load Publishing in conjunction with War Diary. I want to get this on the table, so as I said earlier, send in your suggestions as to how I'm going to deal with that fog of war. Well, I hope that was of interest and you enjoyed it. If you did, and it was, and you haven't done so already, I know, I say it every time, it would be great if you would consider subscribing to the channel, because it really does help. Pushing the like button of the video helps as well. And if you want to be informed of when the channel uploads new content, push that bell. Thanks as always to my subscribers, thank you very much. And if you want to support the channel a little bit further, well, now you can buy the channel a coffee. And that also helps the channel to continue to upload new content. If that tickles your fancy, you want to find out more, I'll leave a link in the description, and thank you. So, until next time, as always, you take care and goodbye.